Welcome to the Takes from the Logo podcast. I'm Jonah Middleton.
I'm Max Voorhees.
I'm Brian Purdy.
I'm Theo Mandelbaum.
I'm Connor Hart. And today, we're going to be talking about the new NBA season after the off-season has pretty much concluded at this point. A bunch of us came up with what we wanted to talk about individually, and we're going to bring it up here and see what other people think. The first thing, talk about, I think the Pelicans had a really interesting off-season, right? I don't know if I necessarily agree with all their moves, but I think that they're definitely going to be a different team heading into next year. They hired Willie Green from, I think he was part of the Mavericks coaching staff, right?
I think so.
I believe so.
Yeah, something like that. They traded Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams away for Jonas Valanciunas, who is really good at Memphis. And then they didn't re-sign Lonzo, and they went instead to trade picks for Devontae Graham, who probably is not as good defensively, but could impact winning in different ways with some more on-ball creation. What do you think about it, Jonah?
I like the Devontae signing a lot. I think Valanciunas stretches the floor for Zion, which should be their priority after 3 different head coaches in the past 3 seasons, I believe. I'm rooting for this team a lot, though. I'm not a Pelicans fan, but I want to see Zion succeed. I want to see Brandon Ingram succeed, and I genuinely want them to be a playoff team this year. I don't know if it'll happen. That's what I want to happen, though.
Honestly, I like the Valanciunas trade and addition more than the Devontae addition, just because he's a lot better than Steven Adams, and they're going to get a lot of rebounds with Zion and Jonas Valanciunas.
I don't know. I still don't think this is a playoff team at all. I think their wing depth is really questionable. I don't think they have really solid role players. I think they have Josh Hart, and I think
He just re-signed today.
Yeah, exactly. But they have a bunch of young guys that I don't think know what they're doing yet. Jackson Hayes they took. He hasn't shown too much. He's shown athleticism. That's not insane. A lot of tenors have done that. I mean, what's the starting lineup you're going to be? Devontae.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
I think
The
that's
GOAT, dude.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Nikhil's my favorite player.
Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas. That's a good starting lineup. The front court is good.
Jonah, why is he your favorite player?
Oh, he went to Tech.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Same thing for Brian.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Nikhil. He's so underrated. I was just watching him back in the summer league when he first came out, and he was just torching everybody. I mean, he brings a lot more offense to that team. I mean, there's too many threats. I think Nikhil's going to be one of the best, especially, I'm kind of biased towards Virginia Tech alumni.
Very biased Tech fans are here. Extremely
Okay,
biased
no.
Virginia
I
Tech
don't-
fans. It's
I'll-
terrible. It's really bad.
I'll stand by him.
I mean, that's partially true. But I think with Nikhil and Devontae Graham backcourt, just the offense makes me smile.
He dropped a 40-piece on those Clippers earlier in the season. Nobody talked about it.
I think they'll go really far, actually, though, if Point Zion gets to actually become a really real thing, because apparently, that's when their best play came last year, is when Zion was the one picking up the ball a lot, when he was getting to initiate pick and rolls, and when he was able to go full head of steam towards the basket. I feel like that's where he could really open up his game and do a lot more.
That's kind of horrifying. Zion is a point guard.
Are they making the play-in? Are they going to be a play-in team?
I think they'll be a play-in team.
Definitely.
They were the 11th seed this year, 2 games behind the
I think
Spurs.
they're
The Spurs will drop out. That's what I was going to say.
They'll be better than the Spurs.
Spurs will drop out.
I think the Grizzlies will drop out.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies.
They did
are worse
trade
than them
Valanciunas.
now,
But I mean, I still think this Pelicans team is.
I want to say that the Pelicans are better, but I don't trust them. Until I see competence from their organization, I'm not going to say they're better than
Willie
the
Green is good. They're a
Still
playing team, and they might even be a playoff team. If he is if he does the same things that Van Gundy did, I think they legitimately could be a 12 seed again, and that's their worst nightmare as a franchise. Because they acquired all these picks last year for Drew Holiday, and then they sent them out for other assets that aren't as good as Drew Holiday was. If they just kept them, which Drew Holiday was obviously really good because he's part of that Bucks finals run. So I don't really just see the vision. I think that David Griffin is a bad GM, debatably, and I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, they have upside though. Upside for sure.
So the Spurs are going to drop.
Yeah.
The Warriors are going to rise.
Yeah, but they were already.
The Grizzlies,
The
maybe.
Warriors were one of my teams. I wanted to talk about their young guys and how that
Yeah,
fits
the
with
Warriors.
the
I think
with
that's
the
good. That's
older
good.
That's
Yeah.
I want to know when Clay comes back because I don't think he's actually starting the season this the only thing.
Wasn't
probably
Here, let me
will.
look that up.
He's 2 years. He was 2 years out,
2
right?
years out, like John Wall.
Achilles, right?
And
Achilles,
then
ACL.
ACL.
He tore the
Ooh.
ACL first. No, different legs.
Different legs.
Oh.
Oh, that's worse.
So how is he going to be when they come
I don't
back?
think his defense is going to be as
I don't
good.
know. Less mobile, but the good thing for them is that he's not a shot creator off the dribble as much as he is catch and shoot.
So
He's dropping 60 points a game with 11 dribbles or whatever. Like,
No, it's 6. There's like 6 dribbles.
right.
Oh, God.
Even more so. Like, I shooting wise, I think he's going to be the same. And we've seen more and more as time has gone on that those injuries have become less and less significant. Obviously, it's still going to impact his game, but Kevin Durant came back from an Achilles tear and is dropping 30 points a game. Easy.
The leg was too, because apparently, like, depending on which leg it is, if it's your non-dominant leg, it's not as big of a deal. Because like the 2 players that have come back are Dominique Wilkins and Kevin Durant, and both of them were like on their off legs.
So I feel like someone else has come back
Achilles
like
is
that.
top. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
he had
know
an
from
Achilles
ACL,
injury.
not
ACL.
not
I have
Achilles.
No idea.
He's-
ACL.
Zach
is
Levine towards ACL. He's still bouncy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's bouncy, but I don't know. Clay's also older. He's 32 at this point.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's got to be pretty injured.
But he's not as reliant on athleticism, which I think can really
He's a
benefit
shooter.
him.
But once you tear something or just do anything, you're a lot more prone to it happening again.
Yes, he is
So,
at this
I mean,
point. That's why.
But-
especially being a little bit older, like at least for a basketball player.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the good thing for them is that Steph and Draymond proved this year that they're not slowing down, at least in the next
They're also lucky,
couple
though.
seasons,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they're still going to be a very good team.
Yes.
And I think Kuminga and Moses
Yeah,
Moody
but-
are going to end up being solid pieces for them that are going to be kind of underrated. I think they are more projects than they are guys who are going to come in and be
Moody's more
stars,
NBA
but
ready. Moody's definitely
more so than Kuminga. But I think I
He
could
gets
see
the
him
highlights.
being a guy who comes from the league and he struggles to shoot threes, and then people are going to hop on the train saying that the Warriors should have traded the picks, which they arguably should have. But I don't know what trade packages were looking like at that point. So
Yeah.
I think their picks are good for what they're trying to do, and we'll see how Wiseman plays when he comes back. He's still kind of up in the air. He could end up being very good. I think he's going to take.
Warriors benefit of the doubt, even if he maybe.
I think he's going to take some
When's
jumps.
he coming back? Do you guys know?
I just looked it up.
Wiseman.
I don't know what his injury. Even I can't remember how serious
Is
it
he
was.
good by the
I think
beginning of the
he's
season?
I don't know. I can't remember
I
what
haven't
his
seen
injury was.
anything. I assume he's good.
Also, what's their forward rotation?
Oh, it was a
gonna look
meniscus
like?
injury.
Well, they also signed Otto Porter Jr.
Because they got Otto
That's
and
right.
they got
Porter
Iguodala.
Jr.
Iguodala.
So they have like Kuminga, Kuminga, Draymond, Wiggins, Rudy, Iguodala, and Otto Porter. That's like 6 forwards.
Otto Porter's
Yeah, so
probably playing. Honestly, Kuminga might not get minutes immediately.
This says a meniscus repair takes about 3 to 6 months. I don't
It's
remember
been
when he
that
told
long.
me. I think he'll come back in the season
He'll be back by this.
early.
Well, I was looking at something here, and it says from Bob Myers, says I don't know that it'll be the start of the season. They said hopeful
For Clay?
for Clay, yeah.
Okay.
But says what is it? We're focused on is when do we expect Clay to be Clay, and I don't know if that'll be January, February, or March. So it looks from what I'm seeing here, that like beginning of 2022 is when they want him to come back, but they're more focused on will they be competitive. So like
Yes.
I said, if
They will
they're
be.
if they're winning games by the time the season really gets kicked off,
It's
then they'll bring him
weird
back
too,
early.
Because what's it called? The Nuggets aren't going to be quite as good, and neither are what other team had a big injury? Clippers. Clippers are going to be like
Oh,
borderline.
true.
Shoot. I forgot about Kawhi
Yeah.
getting
Wait,
hurt.
what did he do?
Oh my God.
Well, it was so under the radar for
What did
the
he do?
entirety
Torn
of
ACL in the playoffs.
But was it
The entirety
it's
of
a
the playoffs.
partial tear, but it takes the same
It's
amount
a
of time
yeah.
to come
yeah,
back.
they're gonna be-
I mean, like I sprained my ankle and it hasn't been the same for like 6 months. He tore something.
Yeah, he's not good.
Max, you're also as good as Kawhi Leonard at basketball.
I have been compared to Kawhi Leonard numerous times.
You guys at mid-range.
Some people say I even look like him.
Yeah.
Brian, I think
Maybe the
we should
farthest from the
segment.
truth.
I think we're going to segment into one thing you want to talk about this upcoming season.
What you got?
What I have,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to talk about that Cavs thing I was talking about earlier, but
Okay, talk about the Cavs.
Talk about the Cavs.
I think
That's
no,
fine.
I
That's gonna
actually
be something that
no,
nobody
no,
else
no.
talks
I'd rather go into something I know more about, and I really say more the competition in the East and people talking about the Wizards and totally forgetting about them making the playoffs. because everyone's focused on the Bulls. Everyone's focused on their new moves, getting DeRozan,
Who's falling off?
Lonzo.
Are the Knicks going to be a 4 seed again? Is that
I don't think
happening?
so, but
They're not going to be a 4
honestly,
seed, but
I
they're going to
think
be like a 6 at
They
least.
still have a good chance to be better than the Wizards.
They're not
though.
good.
So it'll
Yeah.
be-
I think they're going to be better than
The
the
Knicks are
Wizards.
gonna. Well, actually, no.
Actually,
Second
no.
year Thibodeau. No, I'm not saying the Wizards are good. Stop them. But
Hold on.
I am saying the Knicks might fall off a bit.
Are the
because
Raptors going to take a jump?
I think
Being back in Toronto
Yes. Yes.
after trading Lowry?
I don't
No.
think they're in the playoffs.
no. Raptors on the playoffs.
Are they a play-in team?
They might
Yeah.
be
They might
over
be.
the Pacers.
Yes.
We should start with the teams we know
Yeah.
aren't going to be play-in teams, which
Okay.
is the Magic and the Pistons.
I don't think the Cavs are either.
No, the Cavs
Are
aren't.
they going to get rid of Sexton?
No, they apparently they're not looking to move him now, and I don't see any. I think Mobley's
Okay.
cool. I don't think he is what was wrong with that roster. They need spacing. They need a lot of different things.
They're just in a
They need
rebuilding
more
phase,
wings.
so they need a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
So-
Rebuilding phase, so they're
I
not
don't
have
know
any
what they
chance.
need. I don't think Simmons is the answer either. So they just need to figure something out.
Brian, what about the Wizards is going to make them a playoff team above some of the other teams?
No,
I think the Hornets
no,
are better than
they
the
are.
Wizards.
they're not.
James
It's gonna
Borrego is a really
see.
good
We're gonna
coach.
have to wait and see. I could see it going either way.
What I was thinking, well, because I was talking to Theo earlier about how much depth the Wizards have. Like,
25-point per game, Kuzma.
He's starting there or no?
No, I think KCP will start at the 3, and then we know the rest of the spots. It's Dinwiddie, Beal, whoever's at the 3,
KCP.
KCP, Rui, and then Gafford at the 5. I hope Gafford's over to Thomas Bryant. I think Bryant will come back a month or two into the season. So,
Is Bryant like a significant piece for you?
I mean,
it's not what we need.
he's not really. He's just like a scoring big man, which
We have enough scoring as
not
it
that
is.
helpful.
Yeah.
We have
to
enough
our
scoring,
team.
Okay.
especially when we got Bradley Beal and all these other offensive guys.
Objectively, go to the standings again. I want to see this. So
I'm
the
looking at
Sixers are definitely.
I'm
they're still going to be better. The Nets are still going to be better. That's 2. The Bucks are still going to be better. The Hawks are going to be better. The Heat are going to be better. The Celtics are going to be better.
Are we?
The Bulls are going to be better. The Knicks, I still think, are going to be better, and that's 8 immediately. So I'm thinking the Wizards are a playoff team.
I was saying
Or playing.
the Wizards can compete with the Knicks and maybe the Bulls for the 7 or 8 spot.
The Bulls are really solid. Now that Levine has helped, I think he is going to have like a Booker. I don't think they're going to be a 2 seed, but he's going to have like a Booker-esque like.
Empty stats.
Stop it.
It's the same thing with Booker. Empty stats.
And the stats drops 42 in the finals.
but I'm still looking at the East. Like, I mean, yeah, we obviously have the top 3
Competing
Sixers.
with the
But
Pacers.
Stop.
What?
Hey,
Yeah,
let the
that's
man
fine. I'm not
talk.
talking.
We
I'm
don't
not
have
talking.
a
That's
time
fine.
limit.
I'm not talking. That's fine.
I thought you'd finish. Your
I was saying we had the top 3: Sixers, Nets, Bucks. Sixers, Nets, Bucks. I have the Knicks moving down.
To where?
The Knicks. I have them. Hold on, let me look. So I think Heat.
Or give me like a range. Are they out of the playoffs or are they just a lower
between
seed?
6, 7, 8. Some. I'm probably more 7, 8.
So tell me the seed the Wizards are going to be.
The seed the Wizards are going to be. If I'm looking at it now, I think we can run it back to the 8 seed.
Okay.
I think because that's what we were now with the play.
That Brian definitely is a Wizards fan.
Oh yeah, that's my problem.
I don't think his opinion is like too far off though. I could see him being an 8 seed.
I think this is the most competitive East we've seen in like years, and we said that in 2018 too. But I actually think it's serious this time because
Was 2018 LeBronto?
yes, that was LeBronto plus.
Oh, the East wasn't competitive.
Within itself. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the next year. I'm thinking of the next year with Kawhi. My bad.
Can someone
Collaborate.
update me on the Celtics? Because I was talking to Sammy, and he said that he thinks they're going to be doo-doo this
You
season.
still have Tatum and Brown.
But that's
they
like
Schroeder.
that's two
They
people.
traded.
Oh, that's
they traded
right,
for Schroeder. They traded for Josh Richardson's defense.
That's
They
Schroeder.
re-signed Marcus Smart, who's apparently starting at point guard this year.
Schroeder was a steal.
The
I don't
Schroeder
care. I don't
deal-
what
And then
anybody's
so
saying.
Horford's good. Horford's still good. So they're fine. They're not. If they fall
It's-
off significantly, I don't.
Where were they?
But
They
is
were a
Horford
7
gonna
seed
fall
last
off?
season.
Yeah, but they're better than last year.
The question is, will Horford fall off? Because I mean, you know how old he is now. He's in his like late 30s, and they cut him off for the Thunder deactivated him all of last
Because
year.
he was too good.
Yeah, he was kind of winning us a couple games. I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
We
forgot.
had to embrace
They
the
cut him off
tank.
because he was because they were a 500 team with him.
Yeah, I forgot. I had him on my fantasy team. He was winning me games, so they couldn't let me win any games, so they had to cut him off. And that's fair.
Oh, I traded him to you right before he got
I know.
benched,
I
too.
know.
Really?
I'm still pissed about
Oh
that.
my God.
I think he's also a guy who he's not going to have some kind of sudden drop off. I don't think.
'Cause he's
I think he'll
not-
slowly regress
he's not
more and more. You'll see the
he's not
shooting
high
percentages
athletics.
go down.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but he's good at like positional defense, so
Yeah.
that's good for longevity.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than like a need who's gonna fall off. Well, injuries might kill him in like a couple of years.
Oh, that's another thing. What do we think?
Supermax, by the way.
The Sixers with Drummond.
Just
Just that enough as it is.
He's not a factor. He's not a factor.
Do we want to talk about the super team that is now the Lakers?
The super team.
I call okay.
Super team.
I'm gonna
Super team.
come out and say
Super
this.
team.
I called them a super team at first. I think I was overreacting.
Really?
I think
LeBron?
it was the initial.
I don't know.
No, I mean,
I think they'd be a super team if it was a guy like
It was
Dame,
2016.
who's a
Yeah,
little bit
if
better
it-
than Westbrook and brings something to their team that they don't already have.
Didn't they just get Carmelo too though?
Melo?
yeah, but Melo's
They've
not
got
doing
a
anything.
catch and
They
shoot
got
still,
Melo
bro.
And then
now.
they have like 50 catch and shoot shooters.
But I mean, run through though. LeBron, AD, Westbrook, Carmelo. Who else? Who else is starting?
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
He was
What
good
is-
for them 2 years
Kendrick
ago.
Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn's nice. That's honestly one of the better parts.
Malik Monk,
Trevor Ariza.
Taylor
Trevor
Horton Tucker.
Ariza.
I will say though, they're kind of lacking in just like pure shooters now though.
No,
Did y'all
I
say
think
Kendrick
the
Nunn?
exact
I
opposite of
think
what
it
they're
could
lacking.
work. It could work though. Like,
I'm not saying it couldn't work, but I'm saying against
Yeah.
a team that it has
Okay.
pure
It's not what I
shooters,
hear y'all say.
they're gonna fall behind.
No, I knew he was there. I didn't know if y'all said
Oh, Wayne Ellington too, who's a straight.
yeah, he's a straight.
he gonna take 6 threes a game.
I mean, are
Make
they still
four.
easily? Like, are they still easily the best team in the Western Conference?
Easily?
Yeah.
Not easily.
Maybe not
I wouldn't
easily.
say easily.
Are they? Are they
But
still the
they're on
best team in the
they're on
Western
level with
Conference?
The Suns.
Who would be close to them?
The Suns.
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 In the regular season, the Jazz.
I'm not.
They might get the 1 seed.
Eternal pretend.
They
I
won
mean, I
52
even-
games
Their
this year.
whole roster's about to go into a retirement home soon too. I'm gonna enjoy that, but
I still
Okay.
think even
I mean-
with the even if with the Nuggets, like with Jamal. I mean, what about
You remember that
Jamal Murray was
Jamal
hurt?
Murray
Is he going to be? Is Jamal Murray going to be back?
Not
in
immediately.
like the middle to late
Maybe
March
Okay.
of season.
What did he do?
He tore his ACL.
ACL.
Everyone's
Another
carrying their
ACL.
ACL.
Yeah.
Too many games.
Too many games.
Or
since
too
Sure.
Yep.
quick of a comeback? Pull a LeBron quote.
Let's see.
Hold my respect.
But I mean, what? I don't even think the Lakers are the best team in the league. Still, like I mean, I still
They're not the
put.
best team in the league. The best team.
I still give that to
It's
the
the
Nets.
Nets.
I still give that to the
Oh,
Nets.
People already know about the Nets.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing, no change about them. We don't need to
Oh
talk
wait,
about that.
there isn't.
We do agree that the Nets are the best team in the East, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
When healthy.
a team that's might. Okay, I want to know what y'all think about the Heat. Do y'all think the Heat are like serious again after the Lowry move and like their other stuff, or do you think that they're closer to last year?
I honestly just see them as a 4th seed where they win one game and then get kicked out by the Nets second round.
I think
Second
they're-
round exit to the Nets. That's all I see.
I think they're tremendously better than they were this year.
I
Yeah.
kind of agree with Brian for once, which is a
I-
scary thing to say.
I also kind of agree with Brian too. I don't see them
Unless
beating
Hero-
the Nets or the Bucks in the second round, whoever they play.
I don't see them. I mean, they're not scary enough. I don't see them taking out any of the top 3 Sixers, Nets, Bucks. I don't see them taking out any of the big 3. And you put.
maybe beat the Sixers depending.
Or
I mean,
the Hawks. We need to
depends
talk
on what
about
they
the
do with
Hawks, too.
Simmons.
The Hawks are good.
I want to talk about.
I still see them beating the Hawks first round. I personally.
No.
No, I don't.
I also.
Well, then,
I
then they're a
could be
first round
biased.
exit at that point.
Yeah, I don't think the Heat. It's people. I don't know.
They had a tough season last year.
Yeah, I think Hero matters a lot for them. If he could go back to, I'm not gonna say he needs to improve. Like, legitimately.
What a statement.
Well, Jimmy-
You say that, but like,
Jimmy was on fire last year before he got hurt, though. I think
Dude,
if
it's
he
funny.
comes back,
he came back so well at the
This
end
season.
of last year, and then
Mhm.
and then got outscored by Bryn Forbes in the playoffs.
I think they also just had a really bad playoff series, which happens,
Funny
and
enough,
so I
I think
think
they
that
had
kind
a
of
bad
destroyed their
matchup.
reputation.
I also
Yeah,
think
no, they
that
definitely did have a
the
bad
Bucks,
matchup.
The Bucks were better this year.
They were also
clearly.
motivated after what happened 2 seasons ago.
After they got embarrassed by the Heat, which I actually, funny enough, I called both of those series.
Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know how I did. I don't know. I imagine Bam Adebayo just clamping Giannis in 2020, and then in 2021, I'm like, Giannis is getting through him this year.
If it makes you feel better about Jamal Murray, this article from Clutch Points on August 12th
Bouncing.
says Nuggets star Jamal Murray shows off bounce for the first time since tearing ACL. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Means you can
Let's see
jump
this
off.
video. Hold on.
How serious is this? Oh, he went like
He grabbed the rim, jumping.
Brian can't do
I
that.
mean,
so that's pretty.
that's-
sad.
It's Jamal Murray.
Dang.
Dang. Let me just
They're like the
let me
same
just put in the clip of me dunking.
I
at
saw
home
you. I
real
saw
quick.
you grab the rim today, bro. What you talking about?
Okay, see that? Well, see, the thing is, I could dunk, but like
Oh,
you know,
but-
see, like I
but-
lifted and like I was also tired. I mean, you saw
He
that
was
guy was
lifting
playing
so
against.
much.
Yeah, he
just
lifted for a
getting
whopping
so
15
strong.
minutes, bro. He kicked ass.
Brian's gotten tremendously better in the past year.
That's true.
Let it be
He
known.
has a left.
You've
now.
improved.
Coach Ed got you
Hey,
right.
hey, wait till I
Right.
develop that 3-point shot.
It's
That's
not
all.
bad.
It's Max.
Shut up. I will.
Max, you gotta go to Coach Ed for that. You saw how
Just
long it
practice
took
at
me.
home. Oh, wait.
No,
What do you
Max,
mean?
you gotta
You have
fix-
a tiny little court.
I do have a tiny little court.
Yeah, so you can't practice.
That's why I'm good at mid-ranges, because that's all I ever played on,
Good
bro.
mid-ranges, that's included.
Connor, did you
He's got a
really
good
just
mid-
put
he's got a
at
good
mid-range?
mid. He's got a
Connor,
good
are you
The
able to
four,
give any
the
basketball
four.
advice?
Max, leave the
It goes in?
IRL basketball to us. You get the NBA. Let me and Max
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that part.
Thanks, Connor. You stick to commentating.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was, do you guys think Julius Randle can continue his play from last season? We already talked about the Knicks some, but for them to be as good, Julius Randle would have to be as good. So
I don't know. Randall, I don't know. He looked legit last year and held the playoffs, but maybe he's just like that. But the thing is, the shots he was taking don't, like, if he wasn't going to sustain them, he would have, like, fallen off by the All-Star break.
yeah, because he shot well from three and from the field the whole season.
He shot as efficiently as Cat for, like, a year, like, which was crazy.
24.1 points on 45.6% from the field, 41% from three,
That's good from three. That's really
41% for a big, 81% from the line, 6 assists, 10.2 boards,
I mean, if you look at last year, he took a lot
almost a steal per
How many
game.
shots did he take last year? Like, before
Uh,
that? Like, the shot attempts,
18.6 field goal
the
attempts
shot
per game.
attempts look really similar. The assists are what actually, like, intrigued me the most, how that jumped up, the double. But what's he was taking the same shots as he did in the year that, in, like, 2019 or 2020 when everyone wanted him gone. So a Knicks fan said he'd trade a third-round pick for him. But yeah, I think Randall's interesting. I think it's really hit or miss, and that's what their season's going to be. Also, Thibodeau teams do tend to fall off a little bit year two because players definitely do get tired of him very easily. Yeah. So yeah, Thibodeau's also very polarizing himself. Kemba though. I forgot Kemba.
Oh, they did get Kemba. That's
Fournier too.
Fournier's good.
Fournier
Fournier will help them in the playoffs, I think. Actually,
So they have more shot creation. I'm all about the defense now, though.
That's a Thibodeau team.
It's true.
That's
No, that doesn't mean it.
Nerlens
Most
Noel,
48.
Mitchell Robinson will be back. Nerlens
Exactly.
Noel.
One of them will be in all times. After Mitchell Robinson fouls out in the first 5 minutes, Joel can man it for the rest of the game. Yeah, the Knicks. I think the Knicks will be around the same. I think we talked about that. But yeah, the Knicks.
But I'm talking about Randall in specific.
Just Randall himself.
Like, do you think that he'll be as good? I think he'll be better than he was a couple of seasons ago, but he won't be as good as last year.
I'm thinking like Siakam, right? The year that Siakam was an All-Star game starter, and then he was still really good last year, but like
it wasn't as
dominant.
yeah.
He was not an All-Star game starter. We'll just say that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, but he's a power forward. Ben Simmons should be a power forward, not a point guard. What do y'all think his value actually is?
Ben
Right?
Simmons?
Yes.
Not what the Sixers are asking for.
Yes.
What are they asking for?
No,
Realistically,
Like,
what are you looking
franchise
for?
altering trades.
Yeah, what do you think that Morey's looking back? Like actually looking back for?
I don't know. It's hard to tell with Daryl Morey.
What are
Even
some
in
destinations
Houston,
you want to see him in?
I know you want to see him in Minnesota.
Oh,
I think that would be cool, but I don't love the fit because y'all were, I think, a bottom 5 team in 3-point shooting. And I know you need defense, but at the same time, if you can't shoot, I don't know where that's going to take you in the West.
Well, to be fair, we were just injured the entire year.
That's true.
And the Timberwolves are pretty good.
Him and Cat next to each other, I feel like would be a perfect pairing.
Would you give up D'Lo?
I don't think the Sixers want D'Lo. That's the problem.
I think D'Lo would be good for them.
I think he would.
He
too,
would
but
be
apparently-
good.
But apparently, Morey has no interest in him. And
I think he's playing chess, not checkers. I think he's trying to
if I had to pick between the two,
get teams to either give him a bargain or when he drops the price for Simmons, people are going to be quick to jump on it
I think
just
that-
because of how high the asking price is now.
what?
For all we know, Ben Simmons could go into the season and play. I don't think for the
He's
Sixers.
not.
I don't think that's going to happen.
He's
But
not
let's say
gonna
he
play for them.
does, and he gets on a hot streak, and he's got
We say this, but
20
then
points per
teams-
game.
Teams know what he is, though. Like, they're not going to forget. I don't care. People will not forget about that playoff series in Atlanta. That's going to haunt them.
What would it take for
Okay,
What would it take
whoa.
for him to change?
Consistently be shooting threes and making like a lot of his threes and like making
What's
I don't think
consistently
no.
taking him? How many attempts per game?
that varies. I'd say at least 2 3-point attempts a game.
I agree.
I feel like that's at that point, and if he makes like 30% of them, where you have to debate, should I go over the screen or not? That's what I want.
Or should I step above the free throw line?
I think just if he can drive the way he drives right now, because it's hard to stop him from driving, and then hit a free throw, like hit a solid amount of his free throws, 70 to 75%. That's all he needs to not be a liability in the playoffs like he was.
I don't think he's gonna get that Giannis mentality though. Like it just takes something.
Okay, well then why would he? If he can't do that, then why would he ever be able to shoot threes the way you're saying? Shoot 2
I don't
threes a
think he
game.
will, but I think.
So you're saying he's just kind of stuck because
I'm
if you need
saying
that
that he's
mentality.
stuck on Philadelphia.
But so you think the changing of the teams would just make him,
Yes, I think he
really?
needs. I think he needs.
I mean, a
4
change
players
is-
around him that can shoot.
and by extent that'll make him shoot better.
No, I think that means you can hide his issues. You can play him at like a dunker spot on like the baseline a lot more, and he can be more, and he can be used as a screener a ton more, which the Sixers don't. They have Seth Curry, but for some reason Doc Rivers refuses to use Ben Simmons and like triple handoffs and like using him as a screener more. Until Doc Rivers stops letting him be a point guard, it's not going to go well. He's a combo. He's a point forward and not their only point guard.
Let's see what he averaged this year.
Yeah, because I think it was probably like 15, 8, and 7. Maybe better in the regular season. Good old basketball.
14.3 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, 6.9 assists, which is pretty nice. 55.7% from the field, 61% from the free throw line, 30% from three.
We're not counting.
No, I mean, I don't know. If he had 14.3 this year, I think he needs to keep the assist numbers where they're at, if not better. I want to see him.
I think he needs to not be a number
I think
2 option.
17 points per game at the minimum is where I want to see him at.
17.
And that's
a good number.
I mean, what? He shot almost 5 free throws a game last season. If he can bump that number up and start shooting 75% from the line, I think he can get 17 points per game pretty easily. But I think a lot of his problem is mental. I don't think it's all skill set.
Yeah.
I think he's in his own head so much at this point, and this offseason has done nothing but
Because if you think about it, there's almost like, and it's gonna sound kind of like conceited, but like there's almost no reason you should be missing a free throw when you're that kind of player. But like unless you're Shaq to the point where you're like it's almost physically impossible to shoot a ball like that perfectly, there's almost no reason to be missing your free throws.
1.8 GPA in high school, and he can't shoot. What was he doing?
Shaq or Ben?
Ben. Or that might have been at LSU. It was one of the
It was
two.
dunking.
He was practicing his dunks.
Magic Johnson comparisons are still so funny to me.
Those are fun.
Really? He's getting Magic Johnson.
He was coming into the
LeBron,
draft.
The next LeBron.
What a statement, bro! Oh my
What do they
God.
call him? Young
I
King?
got him in K16
Young Prince or something like that?
Young
The Prince. They
That's
called him
what-
Fresh Prince. That was his nickname.
That's not okay. If you had to give him a new nickname now, what would it be?
I don't know.
I don't want to give him a
Bum
nickname.
Simmons?
Defense.
Bum Simmons.
No,
Oh my god.
he's a brick wall. I'm naming him Brick.
Brick? You bricked up?
No, because he's a dumb brick.
This says in college he got the minimum 1.8 GPA necessary to play in the second semester, but not the 2.0 that the Wooden Award required.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
calculating how to get the minimum. That's
No,
what-
Exactly.
There's no way he calculated it. His teachers calculated it
Yeah.
for him. and it's
They
like,
had other
that's
people
great.
doing work for him.
That's how I'm trying to be, bro, honestly.
You
Just
gonna
get that
get- you gonna
out
get
of
him-
the way.
World-class athlete.
Full ride,
That's what it
D1?
is.
Yeah, that's how I'm trying to be. Minimum GPA, world class athlete. I can make that work. Play
You
soccer.
still make millions.
Play soccer. Yeah, that's what the people come for, man.
My soccer skills.
Do you want to talk about your team, Jonah? I feel like
Yeah,
you desperately.
we've got an interesting situation.
Thunder. Is
Yeah.
the team.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't love our draft at first or at least I didn't love the 6th pick with Josh Giddey from Australia. He's really, really grown on me. I really, really like the pick now.
What
Also,
changed?
see him on
Why
TikTok.
did your opinion
You
change?
say he's from Australia?
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah,
you just score
like,
on them like,
well-
oi, cunt.
He's also just really
My initial emotions with the pick wasn't necessarily that we got Josh Giddey. It's that we got him at 6 instead of like 9,
Well,
10.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure. I think it was the Bulls. No, not Bulls.
Grizzlies?
Who had like 8? It was 8 or 9.
Magic had 8.
Somebody was rumored to have been. It wasn't the Magic. Someone was rumored to have taken him at around 10ish. I don't think it was Grizzlies, but I know someone was really interested.
Yeah, and I think half of that is we couldn't find a trade partner, and for all we know,
Presti
I can't
couldn't
remember
find a trade partner.
it's wild. I don't know who picked 7th. I can't remember who it was, but
It
for
was
all we
the
know,
Warriors. It was the Warriors.
for all we know, I think there were rumors that they were high on Josh Giddey, and they could have.
Oh, wait, there were rumors that the Warriors were high on everybody.
That's true.
yeah, I think.
But for all we know, they could have the Giddey rumors could be legit, and they could have wanted Josh Giddey at 7, and we had to take him at 6 because that's our guy.
He did last year. There was a smoke screen.
I watched some film on him from Australia. I think he's a great passer.
Yeah.
People talk a lot about his 3-point shot. In the first 7 games during this past season, he shot, I think, 10% from 3, and then the next 21, he shot like 34% from 3. So that already shows improvement.
How many attempts is that on?
I'm not 100%. A decent. I watched film and like he's taking them from a decent.
That's all
Is the Australian 3-point shot like the same length as the NBA? I just don't
It
know.
might be. It's a professional league, so I'd assume if it's not, then it's close. Let me look at his stats. No, well, he also. I like his confidence in interviews. I like what he has to say, and I think
really funny.
he's hilarious. He's shown a lot of awareness as well, and he understands that like he's got some flaws that he needs to work on, and he wants to work on those.
Is that the guy you put on your story?
Probably.
Bro, he looks goofy though, bro.
He kind of
He
does.
does look really goofy.
He kind of does. He
Looks like an alien.
he took 3.5 3-pointers a game,
Oh,
so a decent amount.
That's actually solid.
Yeah, and I think with us having Shea and we just drafted Man.
Trey Mann, I think is good.
And-
I think he'll actually be like.
Yeah, so and we've got some
Sounds like a
guys
solid
off the
14th seed.
yeah. Hopefully, we'll be 15th.
Yeah,
I want to get that first pick. We've got some catch and shoot guys like Dort and Baisley can stretch the floor a little bit. And so I think he's going to really fit into his role as a playmaker, which I'm super excited for. And I think the Thunder are doing a good job in the draft.
I
Past
like
couple
it.
years, we've really changed up how we draft. We used to only draft guys who were super athletic and strong, and had a
Like
high
Kuminga
vertical.
And
Yeah.
then you didn't take Kuminga.
Yeah,
Crazy.
last year we took Poku, which is a very odd pick. He's kind of got some passing to him.
It's an odd guy.
European, international guy. So we've totally changed how we've done drafting over the past couple seasons. We went from like Terrence Ferguson to guys like Pokashevsky, which I actually really like.
We talked about Terrence Ferguson like yesterday. Do you remember what it was about? I don't remember.
We were recapping the
so
draft.
We were talking about who.
Yeah, no, because we picked Terrence Ferguson before OG,
We picked
and I
Josh
wanted
Ferguson.
OG really bad, and he was available at like 21 or 23 or whatever we had.
24.
Was it?
I think Toronto picked him at like 24.
Oh, they picked him 23,
Yeah, it was 23.
and then Terrence Ferguson was like 21. Yeah. So OG was on the board, and I really, really wanted him.
OG.
And we decided to go with Terrence Ferguson, who I don't even know if he's in the league anymore.
No. Or he's on Philadelphia.
He got traded to Philly.
I think he got
I don't know
cut.
if he's even getting minutes.
I remember him getting waived, so I'm going to assume he's there.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for the season. We'll see what actually happens. Hopefully, we actually tank and Shea doesn't come in and drop 27 a game and get us to the 10 seed or something. I'd rather just play it safe with him and keep him healthy and then stay at a 15 seed and get number 1. We'll see what happens.
Now, Theo, now that Brian's out of the room, do you actually agree with what he said about the Wizards?
About the Wizards? Like,
Are you a super optimistic?
I don't-
There are guaranteed 8 seeds.
no, I don't think
like
we're a
us.
guaranteed 8 seed. Like I was saying, I think we can fight with the Bulls and the Knicks for the 7 or
And
8 seed.
Pacers, I think Pacers.
And Pacers will be there. Hornets might be there. It'll be a struggle, but we could make it. I don't think.
Okay, I just wanted to
Like
say
some
Wizards fans
people,
speak on it.
some
so.
people talk about the Wizards like we're a poverty franchise.
You're not.
I don't think we're going to be a poverty franchise this season. I think we'll either almost make the playoffs or barely make the playoffs. I think that's where we'll be.
Someone define poverty franchise for me.
The
Minnesota
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves.
No, I mean like
The
an
Kings.
actual definition though. Like,
Just
give me your
bad,
best.
bad every year. and
Oh,
you
just
don't-
bad?
Like you don't have a future. You're just bad every year. You're just not good.
Your front
At all.
office is not intelligent.
Haven't made the playoffs since 2008.
Don't have a good coach ever.
Okay, that narrows it down.
Literally thought that hiring Vlade Divac to be a GM was a good idea. Or David Kahn.
Are the Knicks the only franchise to have ever been considered like poverty? Not in terms of like money that they're bringing in, but in terms of like their status in the league.
No.
I can't think of
The
another.
Wolves.
No, I'm talking big markets. like
big markets. The
I don't know,
Bulls.
it's
for-
hard to ever call the Lakers a poverty franchise
The
just because of their
Clippers.
fans and
Oh,
the history
the
they have.
Clippers.
Clippers.
I guess. I forget that they're an LA team.
The Bulls
They feel
after
like a
Rose.
San Diego team or something, which they were in, but like, I don't know. The Lakers are so popular that it's just hard.
They've
It's
never like
weird.
they've been bad, but
Right.
they've never like.
I have one more thing I'd like to talk about if you guys want to.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies, I want to know what their plan is. Like, what are the moves that they've been making? What's it leading to?
I love what they did moving up to 10.
Okay.
I think they're gonna everything that they do. I don't know if I love the Zaire Williams pick itself, but I like that they moved up in the draft and they used assets to do so. I think when you're in a market like Memphis, you're gonna have to build through the draft. You're not gonna get big name free agents. You're not going to have a young team like the Lakers did and bring in a LeBron James and then trade those guys for
AD.
an Anthony Davis. You're going to have to bring in guys to the draft. And I really like that they moved up to 10 this year from 17. I know they took in a bad contract with Bledsoe, but they shipped him off, I
The
believe.
Clippers, yeah.
Right.
We're bad for the band, flip to the Wolves.
And what's so exciting about the Grizzlies is that they're a young team who's also able to win games and be competent and make the playoffs
They work.
and put up pretty decent fights in the playoffs.
Now I know you love Steven Adams, Jonah.
I do love
Do you
that.
think
I love
he's
John
actually-
Morant too.
How do you
I'm-
think he actually fits on the team? Do you think they're planning to play Jaren Jackson at center and put Steven Adams on the bench, or do you think he'll start? What do you think?
I'd be fine with him coming off the bench.
I like Steve.
But I also really like the pick and roll with him and Ja. It's going to be like watching kind of a younger Westbrook with Steven Adams. There's not many bad things I could say about Steven Adams just as a fan. I know he struggles in some areas, but he also said he might want to expand his game to being a three-point shooter if possible.
Everyone
But
shoots
that
the ball.
doesn't-
I know. I'm not
happen
saying he
immediately.
could, but he says that, and 3 days later the Grizzlies trade for him. I don't think it's likely that it happens. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I think it'd be interesting,
Okay.
and if it gets to the point of the season where there's 20 games left and they're an 11 seed and they're not really competing, I'd like to see him take strides to try to improve that part of his game. We'll see what happens. I think either way it works. Jaren can stretch the floor enough to where you could play him at 5, or you could bring him off the bench.
Pull up the standings. Where do you think the Grizzlies land this year? Are they still a play-in team?
Yes, they're a play-in team.
Are they?
I think so.
I mean, we
In
were
the
just
West.
talking about the West. Do you think will the Bull?
Let me look at it before.
The Spurs drop out like we.
Spurs drop out. I would say that.
The Pelicans come in, but I think that top 10, after you switch out the Spurs with the Pelicans, I think it stays the same. Not necessarily in order, but I think you're going to have the same group of teams.
You don't think Minnesota can?
Minnesota could make it in there
I think Minnesota is better than Memphis.
with
this year.
D'Lo healthy. Malik Beasley.
I'll believe it when I see it. I don't want
Chris
to.
Finch was legit.
I'm not going to count the Timberwolves out, but I'm also not going to count them in until they show me that they can actually get there or get close
They
to
went
it.
500 last year to end the season and beat good teams.
I think it
Once
all
D'Lo
is
was
dependent. It's going to depend on D'Lo, what he plays like when healthy. It's going to depend on your
I guess
defense.
I just realized, and then the Kings. You actually think the Kings are any better?
What did they do? They
No.
Davion Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell. They
No.
re-signed Rashawn Holmes. That's a good re-signing. I mean,
They need to trade.
Holmes is nice.
They were the 12 seed. I don't see them jumping up to anything past
I don't
11.
think a Ben Simmons trade would help them though.
I don't like a Ben Simmons trade for them.
I don't either because
Then what do you have De'Aaron
They
for?
would be giving up Buddy Hield too. So then
Yes.
you have no.
I think they should trade Buddy Hield. He
And
wants out, or
Bagley
he's
somehow.
wanted out for what? Yeah, Bagley. I'll take Bagley and see if we can
I
rehab
like
him.
Bagley.
But they're I don't know what to ever think about the Kings. They're such a weird
I feel
franchise.
like they haven't made significant
They make some weird
additions,
decisions.
and they don't have the internal improvement potential on the roster. They have Halliburton, who's I like, but their potential three best players can't share the floor at the same time.
Unless they went with a 3-guard lineup for whatever reason, which I wouldn't
Right.
like.
And
I guess you could. I don't know. I guess you could do Davion Fox, put Halliburton to play a small ball 3, but I don't think that works well. I don't like it. I don't like their pick in general. I love Davion Mitchell. I don't like him at 10 to the Kings. Or not 10. Was it 9?
Sacramento's ready to trade. I can tell you that. That's all I know, and that's where I will end it with that.
Back to the Wizards, because I'm a Wizards fan, so I want to talk about them. I think they might make another trade this offseason because considering we have 12 players that should be getting minutes, we might make another trade for maybe picks or something. I don't think we would do that actually because we want Beal to stay. That wouldn't entice Beal to stay if we traded for picks. But just another trade to clear up some of the log jams at the forward positions and stuff.
Yeah. There you go. Anything else to add? I think that's pretty good.
I want to share this take that I saw on social media last night, right before I went to bed, and I saw it.
Hot takes.
Right now, this isn't a hot take. This is
Not a
a
hot take.
terribly cold take, but we're gonna have to figure out some kind of other
Lukewarm
nickname for them
takes.
that'll be catchy. I want to see what y'all's thoughts on this.
We could call them airballs.
It's-
Airballs from the logo, or just
I
airballs.
like that. Our
Airballs from the
daily airball.
Daily
No,
It won't be
airball.
a daily
I
podcast.
remember
but
LeBron taking one against the Wolves. He pulled up from the logo and he airballed by like a foot. That's what I'm just
I'd
imagining
like to
that.
see LeBron versus Yon in a playoff series.
Oh, he destroyed the Wolves.
LeBron is soda.
I'm not talking about that, but
Right.
no, he did that
Alright.
thing where he made a 3 and then he got really confident and then he took the logo 3 and then he airballed.
I dub shitty takes airballs.
All right. This take says Luka literally modeled his game after Harden. He will never be better than Harden. The student can never be better than the teacher. I think that's horrible.
That's wrong in very many
He did
aspects.
not model his game after Harden.
No.
He just didn't.
Are
What's
we
the
saying-
difference?
Different player.
The difference is the similarity is that they both use a step back 3.
And they both draw a lot of
And they're
fouls.
Yes,
crafty
and they
around
complain.
the rim.
That's true about a lot of stars
I
in the league.
Harden has not been in the league long enough for Luka to completely model his game
I
after
don't
Harden.
think that. I
They
think
also
there's
don't have
that,
the student teacher relationship. That also to say the student can never be better than teacher is
That's not true.
absurd.
That the last part is completely
Jordan's
not
teacher
true.
was Magic and Larry. I think everybody would agree Jordan is better than Magic
Well,
and Larry.
everyone has an inspiration, so
Yeah, but I actually kind of disagree with. I think Luka and Harden's games are really similar, but I think that Luka can definitely be better. I just think it's more so like the fact that Luka is like the only offense on his team, like Harden was for so long in Houston. I kind of see that, but I definitely think Luka can be better.
Are we saying that he's not better yet? Are we
No.
all going to
I
agree
think
on
Harden
that?
is more shifty and Luka's more crafty.
So who would you say is
Yes,
better though?
that's
Right now, I think Harden is better
But
when healthy.
okay,
But
how,
I also hate the idea of putting a ceiling on young players with as much potential as Luka has, especially when he's in his third
That's what I
season
disagree
and
on.
he's in MVP conversations. I hate that we put a ceiling on somebody as good as him. It's different than saying, oh, well, at this point of his career, Marvin Bagley can only be this. This is Luka Doncic, arguably top 5 player, easily top 10, I'd say.
okay,
And we're going to put a ceiling on him saying he can never be better than Harden when there's not even that much of a relationship between the two in terms of student and teacher.
Yeah.
okay. Realistically, how long do we think it takes for Luka to surpass Harden, or do we think it's
takes
going
a
to
lot.
happen?
I think Harden's a top 3 shooting guard. all time.
Skill-wise or accolade-wise?
I don't know.
Or
Both, I
His
guess.
career, like the thing is,
Luka's going to get that MVP soon.
He deserves it. He definitely deserves it.
Next 3 seasons, I think he gets an
He's
MVP.
definitely gonna compete.
If the Mavericks end up being a top
The Mavericks
3
need to give him
seed
something.
and eventually, if they become a top 3 seed and Luka, let's just say he puts up numbers similar to this year,
Just 29, 9 and 9. Pretty sure.
right? I want to see exactly what he put up. 27.7 points per game, 8 rebounds, 8.6 assists on 48% from the field, 35% from 3 isn't great.
That's better than I thought. Actually.
That'll improve, I think,
No,
over time.
that has improved. He shot like 32 his rookie year. That's improved every year.
Let's see.
I'm actually surprised at that.
Rookie season, 32. Then it went down to 31.
35 is really
Back
good
up
for
to
him.
35. he's gonna be, I think, an MVP in the next 3 seasons. All the Mavericks have to do is put the right pieces around him, and if he puts up similar stats to what he's doing, I think
Luka
he'll win an
started the
MVP.
year really slow from 3 too. I remember because I think it was 13 games into the season, he was shooting 17%. I remember that, so he went on a hot streak.
That's why Josh Giddey's gonna be the GOAT.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And at that point, accolade-wise, he'll be on Harden's level. Assuming that Harden doesn't win a championship, I think Harden will get.
Probably
I
will.
think he'll get 2, 3, maybe.
Two.
It's hard to win.
It's hard to,
3
but it's also hard to tell when
with
they
one team.
all 3 of their stars get hurt.
I say 2.
They're already in their
One next year and then one in the next couple.
Harden and KD are both in their 30s. I'll say 1 or 2 because
I think that's solid.
Kinda
Do we
old.
think Luka gets 1 to 2 or more rings?
I don't know. I'm not gonna put it.
it's
in.
so
You saying
hard
rings?
to predict. It's so hard to
Yeah.
predict.
Now, if he stays with the Mavericks,
I don't think he's gonna
they'll
get
surround
anything.
him with an actual co-star.
It's hard to say he doesn't get 1 because he's so good.
I mean, it's possible he gets a ring, but it all depends on where he's at. Because I think if he stays with the Mavericks, he's not getting a ring.
I think they need a good veteran guy who can come in and be a second
Really
or
cool.
third option. And
Do you think the Mavericks have ring potential, or Luka does?
Hey, I think
Not this season.
I think if he stayed with the Mavericks for his entire career, they'd build at least a couple championship caliber squads with him.
I think people will want to play with him.
Oh,
because-
yeah.
So they can attract a free agent.
Kawhi said no this year, but I think eventually someone will bite there.
I wish Kawhi went there.
That would be
I like him on the
awesome.
Clippers, but Kawhi on that Mavs team would be so
Zion the
fun.
Mavericks in 4 years.
I
Boop
want to
and
see the
Marijuana,
market
that's what I wanna
size
see.
rankings
The
just to
Mavericks-
see.
Mavericks are probably 7.
Dallas is a decent market, I think.
They're the second biggest.
It's not loading right now.
Doesn't really matter.
No, they'll get somebody to play with him at some point.
Yeah, it's well.
He'll
Market
make it
market
happen.
Size doesn't matter though, because New York and Chicago were up there for a while. It's more so if they. Move
I'm
it-
just saying financially if they would be able to.
They have cap space. I think they have cap space this year, but yeah, I think they'll continue to. They know what they need to do. Their GM
But we all agree that that take is.
Oh, that's
not
yeah,
it.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's an air ball.
Yeah, that's at best. That's off the front rim.
we definitely should do one of those every episode.
Yeah.
Find something on you're all over Twitter. You'll find
Oh,
somebody.
I don't
You'll
NBA
find somebody-
Instagram enough, dude. NBA.
Oh yeah,
Instagram.
NBA
Oh my
Instagram
God.
is the worst.
I think I found one right now. Let's see.
I need to follow that. I don't think I follow NBA Instagram.
You just got to follow certain accounts, and people will just.
Let me just
What
People
account
say
should I
wild
follow?
things.
I'll go to a Heat account. That'll give me something good.
Go into the Lowry or signing announcement. See what some.
Let's go Heat versus haters. Let's see if this guy has
Gosh.
anything good. No Heat on Christmas Day. He's pissed about that. Naturally. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not finding anything yet. But, okay, this guy actually seems reasonable. My bad, Joe. I've seen too many dumb Heat fans on Twitter. I'm sorry for stereotyping you like that. All right.
Is that it? Anything else you want to add? That's it. I'd say this was a successful first episode.
I agree.
We out.
That was fun.